I picked up the same reality show as Secret Marriaghubby Jaden. In order not to reveal the relationship, I pulled out my real strengths as an actor and acted out a scene where we didn't know each other well. Unexpectedly, during the character quiz game, my picture appeared. Jaden's eyes lit up with surprise. "Oh, honey." Because of the new drama and the new song, Jaden and I became popular at the same time. Originally, our work contents did not have any intersection, but we received an invitation to the same reality show. We chose to have a secret marriage because we didn't want to expose our daily lives to the cameras. Before the recording of the reality show, I told Jaden not to reveal anything. Jaden was singing along with his bass guitar strings. "Wife. Don't worry. Even though I'm a musician, I'm a very good actor." Me. Very good. There were 4 men and 2 women in the shoot. The girl besides me, Luna, is this year's hot little flower girl. The boys, besides Jaden, are 2 comedians and 1 actor. Ryan, who smiles at people all the time. Jaden was the last one to arrive. Jaden, who arrived late, wore a black bodysuit with exaggerated silver jewelry and baggy wide-legged pants with a belt that fell to the side of his butt. It was a bit eyesore, and I quickly retracted my gaze. I hated it when he wore pants like that. Like he didn't have time to lift them up when he went to the bathroom. But he always argued that it was fashionable. Of course, without the pants, Jaden is still very attractive. Who wouldn't love the lead bassist of a band and the tall, aloof cool guy who's just pretending to be a cupcake on the outside? No. Luna beside me then blushed and marveled. "Jiang is so handsome." He approached and looked at me. And when he saw my eyes on his pants, he subconsciously lifted his pants. Live comments. "I've never seen him before. I don't think I've seen him before. I've never seen him before." Upstairs. FNI Band. You can listen to any live show. You'll fall in love. So even hipsters are afraid of their pants falling down? Finally. I'm comfortable with my pants. Comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable too. And I smile politely at him. The recording began. The program team briefly introduced the process. The shooting period of 10 days. Every day the program team will arrange different activities. Today, in order to welcome us, the program team has prepared a sumptuous dinner. But if we want to eat, we need to win the next game. The game is played in groups of 2. Free to form teams. The first group to win the game eats a big meal. The second place eats instant noodles. And the third place goes hungry. The 2 comedians, being the focus of the laugh output, naturally formed a group. I turned my head and met Ryan's eyes. And he smiled and invited me to form a team. When I agreed, Jaden and Luna naturally formed a pair. Next, the program announced the game. Guess the song title. Listening to a song and guessing it requires 2 people to work together. One to say the singer and one to say the song title. Luna was a bit excited and pulled Jaden's arm. "Brother Jiang, the music questions will definitely not be difficult for you." Jaden looked down at Luna. Live comments. I'm suddenly shipping them. Cool guy and cutie. The just hooked me right in. Luna is pulling Jaden like a little kid. Their interaction is so cute. How come you guys can bump into everyone? I'm speechless. Upstairs. Don't make me slap you at the happiest time. As the game begins, the 2 comedians don't know much about recent trendy music and basically give up on all but a few oldies to focus on being funny. Jaden always shares songs with me, so I can hear most of them. But apparently Ryan isn't. Several times when I grabbed the chance to answer and named the song, he couldn't tell me the singer. Jaden and Luna were much more in tune with each other, and basically answered whenever they got the chance. Ryan smiled a little apologetically. "Sorry about that. I don't really listen to songs." I gave him a reassuring smile. "It's okay. I make the best instant noodles." Ryan nodded. "Wow. I look forward to it." The game continued. And after realizing I wasn't going to win, I wasn't as eager to get a chance to answer. Jaden, on the other hand, suddenly started to lose her answers. He shook his head and said he didn't know the name of the song after Luna told him the artist. How can that be? I know all of these songs. And he's the one who shared them with me. I peeked over and met Jaden's eyes. I tilted my head in confusion. What for? He tilts his head along with me. I frowned and he frowned back. Me? Dude, you're still having fun. I retracted my eyes helplessly. Jaden's jam allowed our group to pick up the slack. The moment Luna said the artist and Jaden shook his head, we answered. I said the song title and Ryan copied Luna's answer. This brought the score back to even between our two groups. The last song came on and Luna grabbed the bell first. Her cheeks red with excitement. She turned her head to Jaden. And Jaden gave a sluggish ah. The crew quickly counted down. 3, 2, 1. Fail. Chances are it's our turn. Ryan. Jaden. Me. You love me. Right? Programmer. Success. Jaden looked over with his hand on his chin. His eyes curved. Eyes. I secretly glared at him. Don't be flirty. He blinked softly and said slowly. Yes. That's the title of the song. Live comments. Help. He smiled nicely. Ah. Help. Cool guy smile is too compelling. Jiang is so handsome that I'm crawling all over the place. You can't even remember your own songs? How dare you? Yeah. I think so too. He's just letting go. Right? People get stuck sometimes. I can't even say my own name. Who's he watering down when he's not eating? The crew brought a huge table of food to Ryan and I and gave Luna and Jaden a box of instant noodles each. Luna looked at our table and bit her lip. A little upset but still asked in a joking tone. Jaden, did you do that on purpose? Jaden looked down as he opened his instant noodles and replied carelessly. Yeah. Me. Luna. Live comments. Jaden looked up and slid his gaze over my face. And I felt a tightening in my heart. You're so juicy. He slowly rested his gaze on Ryan's face and winked softly. Trying to get her to answer my song right and not wanting her to starve. Everyone else's eyes fell on Ryan's face in passing. The meat on Ryan's chopsticks fell onto the table with a snap. And he looked dumbfounded. Huh? Me? 6. You know how to divert attention. I was afraid that the air would suddenly go quiet. Ryan hurriedly buried his head with paper to pick up the meat on the table. I looked over from the side. What are you blushing for? I looked up and quietly glared at Jaden, who finally dutifully put away his smile and looked at Luna. Just kidding. Just didn't think of it. Luna blushed at the seriousness of his stare. And gave a and buried her head in instant noodles. Me. After dinner the crew let the bedrooms be chosen. The 3 bedrooms were reduced in size and specification in order. Deluxe double bed bedroom. Queen bedroom. Dream back to high school bunk beds. We took a tour of each in turn. In the deluxe double bedroom everyone matched the wow sound. Jaden, however, walked over to the nightstand, reached over and gently stroked the petals of the roses, turning her head with a smile on her brow. Live comments. Jaden, don't touch the flower. Touch me. LS sisters. Behave yourself. This is a comment section. Not a no man's land. Who is Jaden looking at? The second I met his gaze, I hurriedly lowered my head, my heart beating a few minutes faster. As if his hand was brushing against my heart. My favorite flower is roses. When he proposed to me, he used roses. Live comments. I don't know if I should say this, but Jaden seems to be looking at Zoe all the time. She's blushing. Confidently. He just smiled that swing. The opposite side in addition to Ryan is Gigi. Must be looking at her. Maybe he's looking at Ryan? Ooh? The road not envisioned. The director's voice brought me back to my senses. According to the program's rules, it was roommate selection before room selection. Luna and I were in a group of 2 girls. And Jaden chose Ryan with a light smile and another red-faced dull nod from Ryan. The director's team placed 3 bouquets of roses, lilies, and roses on the table, representing each of the 3 bedrooms. The guests chose their own by winning the game. Originally, it was a blind guess as to which bedroom the 3 flowers represented. But with Jaden's touch, everyone knew that the roses were for the deluxe bedroom. This time, the game was you draw, I guess, and the 2 comedians went first. Only getting 2 questions right, but contributing enough laughs. The second group was us. As Jaden leaned in gently with a crooked-eyed smile. Ladies first. Live comments. So handsome. So handsome. So handsome. Just finished watching him live and just wanted to say he's so wild. Now the courteous look. On the bed certainly. LS, I called the police. How can you put surveillance in my and Jaden's bedroom? Luna is very talented at drawing. And with a few simple brushstrokes she has completed a cute and easy to understand villain. But I looked at the 4 figurines on the board, each with their own distinctive features, and was confused. A mountain of people? Luna shook her head. Family portrait? 8 immortals? I couldn't get any of them right at the end of the day. Luna frowned and became anxious. Donkung special drink. Everyone said. Luna pointed and explained. Look at this man's finger. Pointing to the east. This person has an eagle on his shoulder. This person has a killer haircut. This person is drinking water. She said, looking at us with an expectant face. We held back our laughter raw, each holding back a colorful expression. I took a few deep breaths and patted her on the head. Blame me. My brain didn't get around it. Yeah. Well, it would have taken 100,000 miles to figure that one out. Jaden and Ryan muttered for a while before they started. The comedians laughed and said, you can't get a quick lesson in understanding in drawing. Can you? But to their surprise, the pair went incredibly well, getting 4 questions right in 3 minutes. Luna was in awe. Her eyes were full of admiration. And when she looked at them, she saw that they were right about Jaden. I held her chin in amusement. Your mouth is watering. Her cheeks flushed red. I didn't hold back a smile. Kids are so cute. Jaden and Ryan had first choice and Jaden didn't hesitate to pick up the roses. We just watched as he waved the flower at Ryan, who blushed and nodded. Me. Ryan, you wake up. Jaden took 2 steps to me and bent over slightly to hand the roses over. His peachy eyes looking into the depths of my eyes. Can I give it to you? I froze. Every significant step forward in our journey from meeting to marrying was accompanied by a bouquet of roses and these words from him. He struck a light alone at the end of my favorite burlesque show. It was just him and me in a huge theater. And he held up the roses and smiled at me. Can I give it to you? We fell in love that day. Every time I came back from the theater and opened the door to my house, I always saw fresh roses, flowers in a vase, swaying. One day, a year after we fell in love, I opened the door to my house and in addition to the bunch in the vase, there was a fresh bouquet of flowers in his arms. He got down on one knee, holding the roses and ring, and tilted his head to me and said, May I give them to you? That day, we were married. I looked back and it was so quiet around me. Everyone was looking at me, including Jaden. I knew I should say something teasing now to politely decline or our relationship would be tangled up in the screen. But eventually I took a breath and said, yes. And then took the bouquet and smelled it. As usual. And it smelled good. More fragrant than any bouquet of roses. Jaden smiled big all of a sudden. Just like I do every time I take his flowers. I couldn't help but laugh at his silly face. The live comments had blown up. Oh my God. I admit that I knocked a little early. Knocked the wrong. I admit I knocked a bit early. I knocked the wrong one. Do they know each other before? How to send flowers all of a sudden? Who's the cool guy? Who? This stupid smiling Jiang? Am a Jaden fan. Am already stupid. When did this guy get so slutty? The reality show can't hide from a CP. Can it? What kind of person sends flowers to someone they just met? I'm not going to be able to do that. LS. Calm down. People are watching you. The buzz of live comments didn't affect the silence of the scene at all. Luna's eyes flashed, biting her lower lip. Ryan was out of his element. His eyes fixed on Jaden's smiling face. The crew obviously didn't expect this either. And no one said anything for a while. The ones who reacted the fastest were still the two comedians. Who went twice. Jaden is such a gentleman. Sending flowers along with a room for the two girls. The smile on Jaden's face retracted. And he became a cool guy with a light expression again. Selective gentleman. Me. Well, I hear you blow. The program team also reacted. Immediately cue the process. The two groups of comedians, and we also chose the flowers. Of course. The ones we chose turned out to be Jaden's and theirs. The result is public. Our two girls did not accidentally stay in the deluxe double room. The comedians surprisingly lost out on the handful of bunk beds. Jaden and Ryan were in the king room. Not that I'm telling you. Ryan blushed again at the room assignment. I was surprisingly a little nervous inside. You kid. You better be straight. The comedy people teased and said to Jaden. Gentleman Jiang. Would you like to gentlemanly change rooms with us? Jaden raises an eyebrow. Is there something wrong with the room? The comedians are embarrassed. The rest of them didn't hold back their laughter. There was not supposed to be a big event on the first day of the show. Not to mention the fact that the day's breaking point had already been made. So the crew told us we were free to go. They still had to catch up with the hot search to mark it a wave. Who would have thought it? 2 hot searches on this first day of the show. Hashtag Jaden and Zoe am knocking it out of the park. Jaden and Zoe. What's with the cool guy's sloppy smile? Hashtag. It was actually a while before I went to bed and I wanted to talk to Jaden but was in the way of the cameras continuing to film around me. I had to turn on the TV and sit on the couch and fumble with my cell phone. Me. I thought we agreed to act unfamiliar? What's wrong with you? Jaden seconds back. This is not quite not familiar with it? I was speechless. Why did you send me flowers? Do you always do this to people you don't know well? You said you were good at acting. Jaden walks out from the bedroom and leisurely sits on the single sofa aside. My eyes signal him to look at his cell phone. Jaden. Wife. This is already very uncooked. You don't know how hard it is for me not to be able to stick it to you. Is this still cooked? I'm trying to control myself from kissing and hugging you. I'm so sad I could write an album of heartbreak ballads tonight. When will you come home? I raised my eyes. His expression is light. Cool guy persona online. And then look at the cell phone to pretend cute tone. Heart want to laugh. Your acting skills are used here right. After chatting with Jaden for a couple more minutes, Luna came down from the second floor. She changed into a loose loungewear. Light yellow color on her. The whole person is like a small bread. Let a person cannot help but want to rua. She came over and smiled at me and sat down between Jaden and me. I put my arms around her and gave her a rub. Ouch. Ouch, why are you so cute? Come give your sister a kiss. When Luna came out of my arms with a red face, I saw Jaden looking at me with narrowed eyes and a furtive gaze. Me. Luna shook her head as if to clear her head. My heart melted again as I watched. Jaden gets up with a cold face and Luna rushes to ask. Going back? Jaden nodded at us. Yes. I'm going back to write heartbreak ballads. Me. After taking off my recording equipment, washing up and saying goodnight to Luna, I drifted off to sleep in the soft king-sized bed. In a daze, I heard Luna call me softly. Chi-Chi-san? I opened one eye. Huh? In the darkness, the sounds of voices were very clear. And as the bed dented down, I could smell the fresh scent of Luna's body wash. Gigi sister. Can we talk? Luna whispered in my ear. I struggled to open my eyes, struggling with each blinking motion. Sis. What do you think of Jaden? What do you think? I'm not sleepy if you're going to nag me about this. I think he's great. Luna's voice was getting lower and lower. I was so excited that I opened my mouth. But he drops his pants to hip level. He sends flowers to girls he doesn't know. And he flirts with Ryan and blushes when he does. He's like an arrogant. Luna. Silence is the bridge tonight. I know Luna has a crush on Jaden. But I can't tell her that Jaden is married. so I can only try to discredit him. Sorry, hubby. Luna was quiet for a while and my sleepiness returned. When I thought the conversation was over and I could sleep in peace, I vaguely heard Luna ask, Gigi sister. Do you like me? I couldn't open my eyes anymore. I do. Who wouldn't like a cute girl? And then the night was silent and I had a good sleep. In the morning I woke up refreshed and went downstairs to see the two Lunarians sitting in unison in front of me at the bar. Morning. I greeted them. Energized. Both of them dragged their voices with a weak look on their faces. Morning. Ah. Me. Seeing the blue-black color under both of their eyes, I let out an ew. You two didn't sleep well last night. Did you? Then. Both of them blushed at the same time. Me. What are you blushing about? Ryan said. Last night, Jaden hugged me and wouldn't let go. Kept yelling at me. He pursed his lips. His neck was red. Called me wife. Me. Hubby outside to do one how to do? Online wait quite urgent. I took a deep breath to stop my thoughts and turned my head to Luna, asking her how she didn't sleep well. She also red-faced stumbled. Sister, you last night hugged me too tightly. Me. I took a sip of coffee expressionlessly, not knowing what to say for a while. I poured 2 cups of coffee for the two in silence. At this time, the staff came to put on our radio equipment, and the two of them ended the conversation with red faces with green and black under their eyes. I breathed a sigh of relief. After all, it was us as a couple who were sorry for you guys. Not long after, Jaden also came down. Hair slightly curled, narrow eyes hanging down, chin hidden in the high collar of the black sweater. The whole person lazy full. I took my coffee and admired it for a couple of moments. And for the first time, I was dissatisfied with his pants, which were regular and didn't fall out of the gears. I hurriedly glanced over to Luna, afraid she'd suspect that all the bad things I'd said about Jaden last night were false. Meeting her gaze at me, I gave her a small smile and she blushed and hurriedly lowered her eyes. Me. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong with everyone. Breakfast went smoothly. The program team didn't even give us a task, which made me feel like I had enough to eat and drink so that I could go on the road. As it turns out, a woman's sixth sense can't be wrong. After breakfast, the program set up the first task of the day. Look at the picture to recognize people. The fastest person to answer 3 questions correctly will be successful, and will be given priority to choose the transportation provided by the program to the next task point. The live comments began to buzz. Here it comes. Here it comes. The game that offends nationally recognized figures. Here it comes. Tonight's hot search is scheduled to see which Porcy gets this honor. The game begins. The director quickly stood up the photo. We shouted out their names to get the opportunity to answer the question. We shouted out our names to get the chance to answer the question, and then apologized humbly online after we got it wrong. The atmosphere was very pleasant. One comedian was the first to get 3 questions right. As soon as someone succeeded, the rest of the group became competitive. Jaden and another comedian, in particular, had already answered 2 questions correctly each. For the next question, whoever got it right first would come in second place. Jaden's entire body was highly concentrated, leaning forward slightly, staring at the director's hand with slightly narrowed eyes. Next question. 3, 2, 1. The photo that was turned over had my picture printed on it. Jaden's eyes lit up with surprise. Oh, honey. At that moment, I didn't even realize that something was wrong, and even prepared to applaud with a calm face. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. And it wasn't until I wondered why the director didn't yell challenge successful that I realized something was wrong. Exposed. The director's team was silent. Their eyes shot to Jaden in unison, then back to me in unison, and so on and so forth. Luna's eyes, which were already quite large, widened even more at this point. And she looked at Jaden with a well-understood expression. How dare you? Only Ryan said periodically. Jaden. Why do you keep calling people wives? Me. Luna. Live comments instantly exploded. I'm going. Did I hear you wrong? No, you didn't. Word for word. Pushing glasses. He actually called his wife. There's something wrong with these two. Zoe's all stupid. Zoe is dumbfounded. Zoe. When did I get an extra hubby? Jaden blinked and let out an awe without any panic or mistake. And even laughed softly. Hubby fan, understand? After saying that, she even smiled at me. And the camera of the camera brother was all of a sudden about to poke me in the face. Everyone. Me. 6. I could only feign surprise. Is Jaden a fan? Jaden's eyes curved a bit, and almost as soon as I said it, she said, yes, 3 years old fan. Oh. With that, he got up and walked towards the director while I froze and watched him move. My mind a little clouded. 3 years? But we've only known each other for 2 years. And a year or two before that, Jaden and I were both just entering the entertainment industry, exploring the edges of this deep water to survive. And after a year of marriage, he didn't mention that we knew each other that early. Did he? In the middle of my thoughts, Jaden had already taken my picture from the director's hand and held a pen in his other hand. Can I have your autograph? While I was signing the autograph, live comments noisily put us on the hot search engines. Hashtag Jaden's online groupies. Hashtag hubby fans understand? Hashtag hubby fan? The two comedians were still the first to pick up the conversation, teasing Jaden about how cool she was to see her idol and how deep she was hiding it. Jaden took the photo from my hand and smiled with a contented look. Thank you, idol. I smiled. Thank you for not calling out to your wife again. I was in a bit of a mind-blowing trance for the rest of the afternoon. Yet the broadcast hadn't ended yet, and I wasn't sure how things were going. I'm guessing both of our phones were ringing off the hook with our agents. Jaden, on the other hand, didn't seem to be bothered by it at all. She was so bright that she couldn't stand it. And she was swaying around me all afternoon as her idol came and went, making me dizzy. Luckily, I had Luna by my side, so I didn't let Jaden get too carried away. When the shoot was over for the night, I ran to the second-floor balcony and fished out my cell phone to take a look. Weibo messages $9.99+. WeChat messages $99+. Calls 32 passes. Me. I ground my teeth. Jiang. Yao. I had just clicked on his chat dialog box with hatred when the man came up from behind me. Before I could say anything, he said quietly, "Honey, I'm jealous." I choked. He stared at me silently with his eyes downcast. Condescending. I'm jealous because Luna always stares at me in the afternoon and won't let me get close to you. I haven't even said anything about you yet. But you're giving me a hard time. I raised my head and looked around. There were no cameras on the balcony, and the radio equipment had been removed. So I raised my hand and swung it round to slap him hard on the back. Jaden also smiled back and bent his eyes. Ah. Finally, and wife stick. I didn't have the ability to hold back my laughter. Jaden. Are you sick? He hurriedly came over and lowered his head in front of me and grunted. Wife. I reached out and pushed him away with one finger. Jaden. What's wrong with you? You didn't take anything you said before the show seriously. Did you? Do you have any idea what your agent would do if he found out? I clicked on the phone records. And 28 out of 32 calls were from Jaden's agent. Coincidentally, Jaden's agent called again. Jaden snorted. Why didn't he call me? And took the phone away from me. Jaden snorted. Why didn't he call me? And took the phone away from me. Sparing some distance. I could hear the annoyed voice on the other side. Jaden listened quietly for a while before speaking. Liam. Is this how you usually contact my wife? The opposite side was quiet for a moment. Jaden only said faintly, Liam. If my wife gets angry, will you come and be my wife? Me. I slapped him again. He smiled at me and reached up to pinch my face. But his tone back remained cold. Liam. You don't want the company executives to see those pictures either. Do you? Contact me if you have any questions. Are you my wife's manager? Or are you looking for her so often? And then he hung up the phone and blackmailed me. I went over to him and said, "What photos? Are you so crazy now? Aren't you afraid of your manager screwing you?" Jayden, however, is a bit unhappy. Wife. Every time he contacts you, attitude is like this? Me. No, hey. In fact, I can't even count how many times he has called me and how many times he has interviewed me. MS. Chong. Do you know you're hurting Jayden? What a good time he is having. And you're thinking of marrying him? Do you understand how hard it was for me to bring him to this point? It's hard for a band to be successful. You know? I heard you want to go public. I'm telling you. Don't even think about it. I don't know why Jayden is so enamored by you. But you have to convince him. MS. Chong. Don't be so angry. After all, you don't want Jayden's future to be ruined in your hands. Right? After Jayden's proposal was successful, he always hugged me and watched TV while discussing with me how to go public and wow everyone. I laughed every time at his oddball paperwork and brainstorming. And his enthusiasm and Liam's cold water were like a warm spring breeze and a winter ice cellar, leaving me feeling cut off and bewildered. I began to hesitate. Began to be afraid. Was it really okay to go public? Would Liam stop giving Jayden resources in the future? Would I really be ruining him? Finally, for the umpteenth time, Jayden asked me, "Honey, how are you feeling today? How's your mood today? Should we go public?" I was silent for a while and said, "Let's not go public." "Honey? Wife?" Jayden's face came in front of my eyes, startling me, and I rushed back to my senses. He pursed his lips and looked at me. What's the wife thinking? Her expression is so sad. I froze for a moment. My eyes suddenly became a little sour, and I rolled my eyes as if to hide it. Don't talk nonsense. Get to the point. What's going on with Liam? He didn't go into detail. He just said that Liam's hands and feet were not clean, and he had evidence in his hands. I was a bit nervous. He still has more than a year's contract with the company. Will he get his shoes worn? He just laughed. Don't worry, honey. If it wasn't for these photos, Liam would be squeezing our band to death. After saying that, he raised his hand and gently scraped my face. Honey said not to disclose it. Is it also because of Liam? I froze for a moment and looked up at him. All that was in those peach blossom eyes was tenderness and heartache. I choked, blinking to keep from crying. Well, I'm sorry. Didn't talk to you at the time. I said. I remembered when I had told Jayden that it wasn't going to be public. He froze for a moment, then released me from my arms and crouched down in front of me, holding my hand and looking up to ask me, "Honey, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong?" Looking at his expression with some anxiety in his seriousness, I was so heartbroken. But I didn't let go. No. I think it's still too big of an impact on my career if I go public. So don't take any chances. In fact, I had already discussed this with my agent and she was very supportive. She said that the most important thing for an actor is his acting skills and character. And nothing else will be a hindrance to your career. So congratulations. You guys have to be happy. Jayden also talked to Liam, who told Jayden that it's fine if you decide on your own, but privately asked me not to make it public. Now I think it's because Jayden has a handle on him, so he doesn't dare to reject Jayden. But instead, he came over and asked me to convince Jayden not to disclose it. Wife, I'm going to cry when you do that. Jayden's voice was a little muffled. Obviously you're the one who's been wronged. He took me into his arms and hugged me hard. Honey, I'm the one who isn't capable enough. I hurriedly slapped him. What nonsense. Honey. From what he just said, I can guess what he said to you. I'm the one who's not capable enough to make you make sacrifices for me. His voice was deep. I was most afraid of his emo. The whole person was wilted. Just like a colorful oil painting lost all the colors. I hurriedly pushed him. Jayden, don't emo. When I pushed him away, I saw that his eyes were red. He looked at me. Honey. From now on. No matter what. Just talk to me. Okay? I will write and sing songs well. So that more people will know me. Know my songs. Earn more money. And have more confidence to say. I won't let you suffer. My nose was sore. He laughed a little. I didn't give my wife a big pie-o. Last night I wrote heartbreak ballads I've already sent to the producer. He said it will absolutely explode. Me? You really wrote it? He hummed softly. Yes. I can't stick it to my wife. But you're still in love with Luna. So I'm almost as inspired as I am out of love. He said. I couldn't hold back my laughter and patted him. He came over and said softly. Honey. Can we go public then? Surprisingly. I was a little nervous. Licked my lips. And also softly answered. Yes. As I lay in bed at night. My heart was still pounding. I couldn't sleep. There was excitement and regret. Excitement at talking to Jaden. Regret for not talking to him sooner. Had I known Jaden wouldn't be taken, I wouldn't have been intimidated by Liam. I lay back and started remembering all the various ways of disclosure and paperwork Jaden had suggested before. Eliminating them one by one. Gee. Those brainstorms weren't amazing enough now. While I was frantically brainstorming, I heard a ghostly voice next to me. Gigi sister. I was startled and hurriedly put away my smile to look over. Luna was lying next to me looking at me. Gigi sister. I saw you and Jaden on the balcony today. My heart stuttered and I subconsciously tensed. Was it discovered? And then realized that it was going to be public anyway. So seeing was seeing. I let out a and was just about to explain to her when I heard her say with some hatred. Sister. Why are you talking and laughing with him? No. Listen to me. She grabbed my hand. Sister. You can't let your guard down just because he's your fan. He dropped his pants to hip level. He blushes when he flirts with Ryan. He's like an arrogant. Sister. Wake up. I'm numb. I've made a fool of myself. Okay. There's no way to explain. I wanted to be the first to open up to Luna. And failed. Yesterday's hot search hung for a whole day. And when I got up at dawn and swiped my cell phone, Jaden and I had a lot of CP fans. Clicking on the video they edited overnight. I watched with great interest. I didn't expect it. You guys are a real couple. I thought with some pride. Today's game was my highlight moment. 6 people worked in teams of 2. Relying only on memories and costume props provided by the show to replicate a classic image or character of their teammate. And the team with the best fit won. Jaden was the first to pick me. And I pursed my lips and smiled. Choosing with him from each other. Then I received a warning look from Luna. And I hurriedly retracted my smile to look serious. The game couldn't have been easier for us. I choose to replicate his classic skin. Once everyone had changed clothes. They all donned a cape to keep the mystery alive and were revealed in order. The 2 comedians replicated each other's dark history and laughed so hard that everyone straightened up. Luna and Ryan replicated each other's classic on-screen roles. It was my turn to show off and I was very confident. Stepped forward and threw the cape around. Live comments. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, save me. Save me. Shipping them. Laughing my ass off, ha 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 ha, really classic ah. Not only the live comments. But the people at the recording session were laughing. Even Jaden couldn't hold back his head and shook his head and laughed. I held back my expressionless face and took on Jaden's cool guy persona. I was wearing Jaden's most classic skin. A black sweater with exaggerated silver jewelry and baggy, wide-legged pants. Punctuated by a belt that was about to fall down to my butt. I tried to fake a few steps. But the waistband of the pants was so wide that it kept falling down. Sparing me the embarrassment of wearing other pants underneath. More or less. Jaden smiled and came over to me and tied the cape around me. Idol. I'm really flattered. The live comments went crazy again at this moment. After everyone had finished laughing. It was Jaden's turn. He stepped forward and put on a wig before taking off the cape. Still in a high ponytail. And everyone laughed for a while. Underneath the cape was a puzzling outfit. A white t-shirt and jeans with simple canvas shoes and a book in his hand. What a normal outfit. But with Jaden's wig and size. It was hilarious. I laughed as I remembered that I hadn't played this kind of role before. I'm replicating my idol's image from 3 years ago at the U of T. I froze as Jaden's soft gaze fell on my face. Smiling lightly. We weren't a big band back then. But we had friends who supported us and got us a show at the U of T. I can't even remember what song I was singing. But after the show I hung out on the U of T campus. It was a beautiful day. There is a forest in T. And the shadows cast by the leaves are beautiful under the sunlight. And the wind rustles through it. I heard someone crying. I saw my idol. I didn't dare to get too close. But I could only see her side face. She was crying so hard. She was still crying and talking to someone. Every word was desperate and firm. It's heartbreaking and makes you want to cry. I felt like I should leave. But I really couldn't. She was crying so desperately. I froze for a while. And then suddenly she stopped. Jaden couldn't hold back a laugh. I, however, was already red-eyed from what I heard. She stopped. Wiped her eyes. Picked up the script in her hand and muttered. It's a good emotional outburst. Then she turned her head and walked away. And I realized there was no one in front of her. Just her practicing her acting. I was dumbfounded. From that day on. She was my idol. I didn't know her name at the time. But I knew she would soon be on everyone's radar and loved by everyone. That's what she wore that day. She was so bright and shiny in the sun. Jaden came over to me and pulled a piece of paper and handed it to me. Idol. I'm so lucky to be walking in front of you again. I wiped the tears from my eyes and smiled at him. Me too. He smiled back and turned his head to draw me another piece of paper. Splat. His high ponytail hit me hard in the face. Me. Lyric and all that. It's really not for us. Live comments. She's really bright and eye-catching. Love. This is love. I'm knocking it out of the park. It's impossible for you two not to be together. Gigi's touches were lost by the ponytail. I still received Luna's education that night. Sister. You can't easily believe in men's rhetoric. Sister. Don't sleep, you listen to me. I slept peacefully as she rocked me. With most of the reality show left, I lived the life of an end of the water. Jaden brought fresh roses from outside and handed them to me, which I happily accepted. In the evening, I was lectured by Luna about not getting ripped off. And I nodded in agony as I couldn't get a word in edgewise. In the game and Jaden choose each other. The night will be Luna mention ear order face. I'd been secretly whispering with Jaden on the balcony. But I've been dragged back to the bedroom by Luna. The show is almost over and Jaden is running out of vinegar. After Luna glares at Jaden once more. His gaze is haunted and his smile soulless. Wife. When I went to your house, my old man wasn't even this vigilant. Me. The night before the reality show ended, I decided to talk to Luna about my relationship with Jaden and how I had a reason for badmouthing him. It was too much of a thrill not to have Luna see us openly from the internet. I held her hand in the bedroom. Yeah. Her big eyes blinked and a faint blush appeared on her face. Gigi sister, you say. I really deserve to die. I really can't bear to do it. But I clenched my teeth. In fact, I and Jaden. Her face swished. Sister. Me. Listen to me. Luna looked worried. Sister. I know. You do like Jaden now, right? I was robbed of my words by her. But it was kind of what I wanted to say when she asked. Yes. She looked like she was struck when she heard that. Sis. You don't want a love brain. Even though he's your fan. You've only known him for a few days. Don't be mesmerized by a few bouquets of flowers and a few words from him. I'd be touched. Really. If Jaden wasn't the hubby I've been married to for over a year. But who can blame me? It's all my own fault for moving a stone. Actually, Jaden is my hubby. Luna froze after I said. I rushed to hold her hand for fear of her hitting me, while then nodding affirmatively. Yes. That's right. Legit, hubby. Taking the opportunity, one grabbed the chance to explain that I had told her that earlier because the two of them couldn't go public yet. As I talked, Luna slowly reddened and slowly got out of bed. I asked her where she was going. She turned her head and said quietly, "To write heartbreak ballads." Me. But you're an actress. Sister. The show came to a successful end and Live Comments was full of reluctance and blessings. At the end of the show, the guests interacted with the live viewers. Jaden and I were standing together when we witnessed the live comments skyrocket. And I couldn't see myself on the screen. I bumped into Jaden. He bumped back. My heart was pounding like he was knocked out of my head. Suddenly Jaden sneezed several times in a row. So I asked if there was any paper. While the staff was busy looking for paper, I reached into my pocket and said, "It's okay. It's okay. I have some in my pocket." Jaden also shook her head. "It's okay. I brought my own." Then we both pulled out 2 red books at the same time, with marriage license printed in golden letters. Ignoring the shock of the people around us and the stupefaction of the live comments, we continued our sitcom. Jaden was surprised. "Oh my God. Idol. Your paper looks just like my limited edition paper." I stifled my laughter. "Yeah. I bought it at City Hall by reservation." "Did you buy it too?" Jaden curled her eyes and nodded. "Yeah. But this paper is unique. Everyone is different." "Really?" With that, we opened our marriage license slowly and pretentiously for the camera, revealing the photo of us together. We both said in unison, "What a coincidence. You're my hubby/wife." The live comments went crazy. The booth got stuck. And the set froze. Luna was the only one shaking her head and laughing with her arms folded. Jaden must have written this script. It's so bad. Holding hands. We smiled brightly at everyone. Everyone will be invited to the wedding. So be sure to come. We ran off without waiting for anyone to react. I ran all the way to the car, my hands still shaking from the excitement. Jaden and I panted for a while. And after we calmed down, we looked at each other and let out a giggle. We laughed for a few moments before we stopped. And I couldn't help but shake my head at him again. "Really? That's such a dorky way to go public." He raised an eyebrow. "But it's the most unexpected. Isn't it?" I couldn't deny it. After all, I was having a great time acting it out myself. Birdseed. We giggled for a while longer. Our cell phones started buzzing with incoming calls, tweets and messages. But neither of us touched them. He turned slightly and took my hand and interlocked his fingers. "I love you. Honey." I curled my eyes and smiled at him. "Hubby. I love you too." He leaned in and kissed me, twirling, grinding, and tickling, and muttered, "Finally. I'm kissing my wife," and was slapped by my red face. He smiled and deepened the kiss as I slapped him on the back with a red face.